Hello, everybody. Welcome to Fruitful Trees. And these trees are certainly fruitful right now. There's a bunch of little mangoes on these trees. And this particular variety is one we're going to talk about today. I have Alex on the show from Tropical Acres Farms. And Tropical Acres Farms is a farm here in West Palm Beach that has 300 varieties of mangoes, many more trees than that, but 300 different varieties of mangoes. And we get to taste many of these wonderful mangoes. Now, a lot of people that have eaten mangoes in the past have only tasted a certain variety of mango that might have been from the old days. And as time went on and more people started to learn about mangoes and grafting, more mangoes became popular or became into the system. But there was one man, and his name was Zill. But there's one man, Gary Zill, who did this amazing project where he planted a bunch of seedlings of mangoes, like thousands, and the ones that came up, most of them weren't good, but the select few that were good, he gave the row and the number, he gave a name, and the name is usually, there's two ways people name mangoes. One of them is based by the person that planted the seedling, so they already have a Gary mango, by the way, because that was one that when he was growing up he liked, I think, and his they called it the Gary mango, but he in this the other way to name them other than by your name is what they taste like, and it has to be some type of exciting name that if you're a commercial grower to get people excited about it. Well, this is the tree you want if you want one mango. See, right behind me here, I have this tree. This is a lemon meringue tree. This is excellent. Top 10 mango for everyone that's tasted it. Now, when a mango blooms and gives off this pollen and so on, it in the air and everything else, the seedling from what the mango came from mixes with that pollen, and that's how you get different varieties of mangoes. This seedling or seedlings from this tree will not come out exactly the same, but it will always be the parent of the mango that comes out with this. So some of the amazing mangoes that have come out of this lemon meringue tree, which originally it was called a PPK, a Popu Kapang or something like that, but they renamed it lemon meringue because it tastes like lemon meringue pie. I remember when I first had them, I was amazing that I got two trees, and they're my biggest trees. One of the seedlings of this, or we could say the children or the child of this, was Lemon Zest. And I've spoken about Lemon Zest in this show before. Absolutely, I'd say a top 3 mango taste-wise. There's little problems with growing in certain areas, but taste-wise, you're not gonna come too many better than that one. But there's another child, and this one is wow. This one is absolutely amazing. This one here is the one we're going to talk about today with Alex at Tropical Acres Farms. It's called Orange Essence. It's called Orange Sherbet. Orange Sherbet. Wow. And last year I got to taste these for the first time. I was so glad that I decided to plant one of these. I think it was Richard Campbell that at one time said this was his favorite tasting mango, and it's going to be in people's top 3 mangoes if from a tasting standpoint. As for growing it, that's another story. So they're coming in right now, and here is they're getting bigger and bigger. I'm really excited because this is last year I might have gotten 1 or 2 off this tree, but it's loaded this year. And I have to say, of all my trees, I have a bunch of smaller trees. A lot of them got affected with powdery mildew. This one did excellent this year, and the lemon meringue is doing great this year. In my other yard, the best tree, I guess, that's fruiting, that's doing good. My Graham is doing great, and my Super Alfonso is doing amazing. Those seem to be my best trees this year. My Sweet Tart and my Lemon Zest is doing great also. But we're going to talk to Alex today at Tropical Acres Farm. I was just there recently, and we spoke about this Orange Sherbet. So here he goes now. This is Alex at Tropical Acres Farm. I'm going to put his link below the video. Contact him. Definitely this year when they put out their boxes at Tropical Acres Farms with different varieties of mangoes, get one of the boxes with this in it. Or better yet, if you're in South Florida, go to the farm and just grab a whole bunch of These mangoes, these are the ones you want to taste. These are the part of Gary Zill's program. These are not only part of his program, but these are the top of his program. All right, enough of me chatting away. Here goes Alex. All right, everybody, here we are, Tropical Acres Farm. This is Alex, and he's next to his Orange Sherbet tree. This is an amazing tasting mango. How long have you had this tree?
I top worked this one. This was a different kind of mango, and I top worked that tree over into Orange Sherbert. Goodness, maybe in 2018 or 17 or something. I can't remember exactly what year it was. I probably wrote it down, but first couple of years we wanted the canopy to develop, so it probably fruited in year 3, but I'm not certain. It's been fruiting for a couple of years.
How many do you have of Orange Sherbet?
Let me think. Including the top works, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think 7. 7 or 8. So, yeah, a decent number by our standards, because we don't usually plant much more than that of a single variety. So we have a lot of faith in Orange Sherbet.
Well, everybody I asked about top 10 taste-wise mangoes that have tasted a lot of Zill's new ones. This is always in like the top 5 even, this one. What do you feel about that?
Last year in 2022, it was probably the best mango of the year, if I'm being objective. It was the best. My favorite of 2022. Consistently was testing extremely high in bricks. I think we had one close to 30, which is unbelievable. I think we had a sweet tart that broke 30. These were testing in the high 20s, but they were just phenomenal. And very productive trees, I have to say. Not terribly aggressive. If you pan up here, Paul, I guess you could zoom in and kind of see. This is actually not the one with the most fruit on it. We have another top work in the back that has more, and it's a larger tree too. And I have one in my back. Actually, I have 2 of them in my own backyard that are fruiting really well also. So they're super disease resistant as far as we've experienced them, and I don't really have a negative thing to say about them. I guess they can get some jelly seed if they tree ripen sometimes. If there's been like a lot of rainfall or they have kind of a calcium deficiency going on, but it hasn't been a major problem for us. So yeah, awesome trees, awesome fruit.
Well,
Can't say enough good things about Orange Sherbet.
well, besides the size of the tree, does the different rootstocks affect it in any way at all?
I'm sure they could, and if we did like a proper study and grafted, 100 of them to one stock and 100 of them to whatever, we might observe some differences over time looking at different stocks. But I can't say for sure that I can tell you here in Florida, they typically are kind of moderately vigorous at most. Some might say lower vigor. They're compact, they have dense canopies, definitely not as vigorous as their parents, or their parent, the Lemon Meringue, or PPK, or PQA, and much less vigorous than the Lemon Zest, which is its sibling. They're both seedlings of Lemon Meringue. So I like them better as a tree in that regard. And they don't get bacterial black spot. We haven't had anthracnose problems with them. Haven't really had powdery mildew issues with them either, although we do control powdery mildew pretty well here. So yeah, Orange Sherbet, pretty great.
Now, how
great
interesting is it that Lemon Meringue has a small amount of PBS? Lemon Zest gets a lot, and this coming from the same line.
Yeah, it is interesting because they have such similar genetics. But what we don't know is what might have been the pollen parent of Lemon Meringue. I'm sorry, Lemon Zest. We know that its maternal parent was Lemon Meringue for sure, and it tastes very similar, it looks similar in many regards, but what might have pollinated it, whether it was a hybrid between Lemon Meringue itself, or maybe it got pollinated by something that is actually quite prone to bacterial black spot. And the same thing with Orange Sherbet. We can only speculate on its paternal parentage. So maybe Gary would have something to say about that in terms of what he might have thought on it. But I don't remember him ever saying that he thought you know, it had a specific paternal parent. The only thing that I remember about Lemon Zest and Orange Sherbet was that the parent was Lemon Meringue.
Now, you've tasted hundreds of mangoes all over from all over the world. Would this rank in your top 10 orange sherbet?
Yes, yes, it would.
Top 5?
Probably. Depends on the year and the moment, right?
If it was like last year.
Or last year, it was probably the best. If I'm being objective, it was probably the best mango in 2022. How it will turn out in 2023.
Now, some years, I mean, could it be so bad that wouldn't even be in your top 10 some years?
No, I can't recall a year where it was lousy. I've probably had a few specimens that were washed out, but that's happened probably with every mango I've ever grown. So that's not really a criticism. And it's much less likely to be washed out, in my experience, than lemon meringue or clam or something like that.
So if somebody had a yard and they could only get one tree, I mean, I know you're big fans of a lot of the old timers and stuff. Oh, depending where they are. Okay.
Yeah, I would not. So if somebody in South Florida could only get one mango tree, right, and they're down in coastal Miami-Dade County, let's suppose they're in, somewhere like along the water in Coral Gables or Coconut Grove or something like that. This would probably not be the first mango I would suggest to them if they could only plant one tree, because I don't have as much confidence that this will flower every year as I do with certain other varieties. I have a little more faith in some other types of mangoes to bloom consistently compared to this, even if I think this tastes better. And so, yeah, maybe you have the best mango in the world in your backyard, but if you're in an environment that's receiving pretty warm winters and it's more of a coin flip as to whether the tree's going to bloom or not, then you have to care a little bit more about the consistency of its crops, because you don't have space for a bunch of other trees. You only have space for one in this, situation that we're discussing here. So no, it wouldn't be. But if it's maybe a little further north in South Florida, or inland or whatever, and you have space for multiple trees, then all of a sudden this one does enter the equation.
Sure.
But if the person wants an early season mango, this is not it, because it's not early. It's a middle season mango. So its fruit sometimes will last in August, certainly in July. But I don't remember ever having them in May. I guess it's possible, but it's really not. It's not early most of the time. It's usually middle season. So you'd have to be desiring a middle season mango too. So, and be a little patient. And when everyone else's mangoes are ready in May, you're still waiting around for your orange sherbets to ripen. So.
And even like an hour north from here, you might get them a month later, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one thing I do know about this mango is it's known to not perform very well in Southern California because it grows too slowly there. I've had people directly tell me this. So when I talk to somebody in Southern California that wants a citrus-flavored mango, I usually try to steer them towards Lemon Zest and try to get them to control the powdery mildew on it. Because this guy here will grow so painfully slowly in Southern California that apparently, this is what I've been told, that it's probably not worth growing, even though I'm sure they'll taste incredible there. But more of a mango for Florida.
Well, you'll have these mangoes, budwood and his tree, available here at Tropical Acres Farms. The link is below the video. This is one of the many trees he has here, and come on out and buy some at his stand when they open up, and also order them, because he does put them in the boxes on his website for mail order, so definitely check them out. Thanks for sharing with us.
Yep.
All right, everybody, that was Alex at Tropical Acres Farms. Remember, his contact information is below, and here I am on the other side of this tree. It's just going great, and I am so excited for this mango. I definitely knew it was going to be amazing and planted it specifically in this special spot that's really private. No one's going to be getting these except my neighbor. He'll be able to get some over the fence. I did that for him as a thank you for helping me out with all these growing trees and stuff. So, all right, put your comments and questions below. Have you ever tasted this orange sherbet mango? And if not, you better go and taste it this year if you love mangoes. You won't be sorry. Until then, everybody, have a great day and keep growing.